go. A little bit of different background. It's weird, I know. This is some of the wine stash. At the bottom down here is, I don't know, liquor cabinet down here on the bottom. Sue made this, by the way. This used to be a TV, I don't know what you call it, down here. It was bamboo, and she didn't like the color of it. And when we got new furniture for the bedroom, I was just going to get rid of it. Have a yard sale or something and get rid of some of this stuff. The TV sat in here, and those right there is where you would put your cable box or whatever. And then up here is where you could put your DVD players and whatever. So now we have Katie's doggy treats is right there. So, you know, we kept it. She painted it. I guess paint, I don't know, maybe it's stain. She did all that. Beer of today is Yuengling Lager. Yes, I do like Yuengling down here. I've tried a lot of beers when I came to Florida, and when you go from state to state, things change. You're going to be disappointed in some things, and then you're going to be excited about other things. Such as the style of furniture is different here than it is up north. Men don't seem to have a problem with most of this. It's a woman decorating thing. You are going to find different types of foods here that are good and different, and you're going to like some of them. You are also going to be so disappointed in the simplest things that you're so used to now where you're from, and you're probably not going to be able to find anything like it here. And so you start missing things. Me, personally, two things. Pizza. I have never found a pizza that comes close to the pizza that I've been eating my whole life in Indiana. And I've made up my mind I'm not going to find it. I don't know if Sue and I can make it ourselves. I don't know. I don't even know what the recipe was for it, but it's just not here. I mean, I get emails all the time, people saying, well, try this, try that, try this place over here, try that. I've been to all of them. And there's nothing here that comes close to what I'm used to. That's just a fact of life. That's just the way it is. Number two, when it comes to food I'm talking about here, deep fried breaded tenderloin sandwiches. Up north, most of them is made out of pork. But you can get beef also. I like both. Down here, it's a northern thing because I have found one or two places that does sell deep fried breaded tenderloin sandwiches. But neither place calls them that. This was a trick that I found out by accident. One place I happened to go to, a restaurant I've never been to before, and I call it a working man's restaurant. It's nothing fancy for the family. It's just basically a place where a guy would go to have lunch. A beer and a burger kind of place. Me and old trucker, my kind of place. We stopped there once for lunch. And the inside of the place is really unique. By the way, that's how you kill rabbits. You sneak up on them, right? Okay. It's got old gas pumps in there. It's got a nice bar in there. They got inside, outside seating. Florida, almost every restaurant has some kind of outside seating, blah, blah, blah. It's called Ramshackles. It's at the split at 27 and 441 in Leesburg. Parking can be an issue, but if you get a chance to go in there for a sandwich or something for lunch, I highly recommend it. I love the place. It's a great place. It's just too bad that it's such a parking problem there. But they do have tenderloin sandwiches, but they call them fritters, I think. F-R-I-T-T-E-R-S, fritters. Something like that. And when I asked the waitress what that was, it just so happened that the waitress we had was from Indiana. Ironic. I call her a waitress. They don't call them that anymore. They call them servers. I don't know what the big deal is, but it seems to be an issue if you use the word waitress. But she explained what it was. I said, oh my gosh, that's just a deep fried breaded tenderloin. She said, yeah, but it's not what you're used to. She said, but it's the closest thing you'll get down here. So I got it. She's right. It's not what I'm used to. It's okay, but it's not what I'm used to. But I did find them. Now, Sue and I made our own. I don't remember what she got. A box of breading of some kind or another. It was already pre-done, and we pounded out the pork, the tenderloins, pounded them out ourselves. We breaded them. She froze a bunch. I deep fry them in our, like Fry Daddy, and by God, they're not bad. So I do miss those. You are going to find things you miss. And for those of you that watch this that already live down here in the villages, put it in the comments down below. Let other people know, what is it, what state are you from, or where are you from? What was your favorite go-to type food up there that you really, really enjoyed? And have you found anything down here that comes close to what you're used to there? Other people from your area moving down here might find that very helpful, because comfort food, right? It's comfort food. It's what we all miss. Reminds us of home. Reminds us of Grandma's house. Reminds us of Christmas dinner back home. I mean, something. Well, me, it was pizza and deep fried breaded tenderloin sandwiches, and I miss it. I don't have them. A little update. You guys has been with us for a while. You know Katie, right? Actually, her name is K-T, 2 letters, K-T. Her brother named her that. I don't know why. I just call her Katie because that's basically what the letters say. Here's a little history on Katie. It was her brother's dog. She actually bought Katie as a birthday gift or something for Sue when Katie was a puppy. We brought Katie to our house. At that time, we already had Maggie, and this was Maggie's territory. And Maggie just didn't like Katie at all. And Katie was just a little bitty thing. She's not much now. And so you can imagine as a puppy, I literally could pick her up and put her in my shirt pocket with her little head sticking out. That's how small she was. And we wanted to keep her. We really did. We thought, if nothing else, just be company for Maggie and things. But Maggie just, we had her for a while. Maggie just never took to Katie at all. And it got to the point that there was a couple of times that we had to watch Maggie. Maggie was fixing to take her out. I mean, she was getting ready to take her out. And I've been around animals my whole life, so I know when two don't mix. And so we give her back to her brother, and her brother kept her. I mean, I don't know what Katie cost him, but reluctantly, just to save Katie's life, really, we gave her back to her brother. He kept her. He, not even a cruel person or anything like that, but he's not a love on your dog kind of person. A dog is a dog is a dog. But he would take her out on a leash outside his house a couple, 3 times a day, I suppose. Maybe stay out there for a little while. You know, if it was a nice warm day, he might sit outside in a swing. And Katie'd be on her leash right there. Well, when he passed away 4 years ago, I think, right at 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, no, 4 years ago, going on 5 years ago, he had Katie. Well, Katie, while she was in his house, was always in a cage. She was never let out of a cage. Now, it was not a small cage. It ain't like was a carry luggage type cage. It was a good size for Katie. A good size, I'd say 3 foot long, 2.5 feet wide, 3 feet tall, a good sized cage. Her bed was in there, her bowls were in there, her water bowl, her food bowl was in there. He took good care of her. She went to the bed on a regular basis. He took very good care of her. But that's what she knew growing up. 10 years of that. So the little playful puppy that we had at our house disappeared. She was never, like I said, she was never held really that much. She was never, she just wasn't treated as a family type dog. Now, he didn't have any kids or anything living with him. That Katie was it. Well, when he passed, Sue decided she would bring Katie down here. By this time, Maggie's passed away. We don't have Maggie anymore. I really didn't want another dog because I wanted to travel somewhat, and when you travel, pets get in the way. They just get in the way. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. But she brought her down, and I understood that. So Katie comes down to our house. Now, we raise dogs differently than her brother Jim. Katie had us running the house. And truthfully, other than a couple of times where she just kind of got sick from eating something we fed her she probably wasn't used to, because I don't know what her brother was feeding the dog or whatever. And but other than that, actually, we've really never had a problem with her. She's very well housebroken. The problem with her is we get her outside, she doesn't want to come back in. So she wants to go walking. She's getting to the age now where walking is becoming an issue. She can't walk very far. Sue might take her for a walk. She gets 100 feet down the road and she just plops over in the grass and that's it. She's done. She ain't going anywhere. Well, a couple of days ago, I got out of bed. Now, you guys know the history, right? Katie, for some reason, thinks she's protecting Sue from me. So when I get out of bed, Sue gets up before I do. No matter where I go in the house, the dog barks at me. She doesn't do anything. She can't really do anything, but she barks at me because she doesn't want me around Sue. If Sue's in the kitchen and I walk in here, the dog follows me yipping. And I've just gotten used to it. So a couple days ago, I got out of bed, I come out here, Sue's sitting there, and the dog is laying underneath the dining room table, which she lays under there a lot, probably because when she's a puppy, that was a safe place to be. But she's not barking at me. And that's the first thing I noticed right away. And I look under the table and I see her laying under there, but she's just laying there and just looking, but she's not moving. And so I come out to the kitchen and make my morning coffee. Every morning when I'm making my coffee, Katie comes out here and I give her a little dog biscuit for little dogs. It's just a little dog biscuit every morning. And she's usually sitting right next to me waiting for that dog biscuit. She wasn't waiting that morning. So I told Sue, there's something wrong with Katie. And she said, I know, she's not feeling good. Well, I left her alone, didn't really bother her, but about an hour later, roughly an hour later, I noticed she was up and she was standing over here kind of by the door. She doesn't do that when she wants to go out, but she was standing awkward. And I could tell by looking at her there was something wrong. I told Sue, I said, you better get her to a vet. There's something wrong. And she'd had a pancreatic attack a couple of years ago, and I thought maybe that's what was happening again. So she takes her to the vet. The vet said she was severely dehydrated, and she needed to go to a animal hospital. And the only animal hospital they had here, which I think's weird, was in Leesburg, Emergency Hospital for Animals, but they didn't open up till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They're open like all night long, but they don't open in the morning or until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So like everything else around here, God help you if your dog really needs something at noon. So she recommended us to go to the animal hospital in Gainesville, Florida, which we did right away. We took her right up there. Because by this time, if you guys don't know, when animals get sick, if you don't get them help at a certain level, like I'll use this at a level, from here to here is very good. Here is borderline not so good. She was here. If they get down to here, they may be so weak and so sick that there's nothing they can do to bring them back to here. And so she was here. So Sue rushed her up there. I stayed here in case somebody called. Sue rushed her up to the animal hospital. They took her in right away at the Gainesville Hospital for Animals up there. I don't know the name of it. I wish I could tell you. Immediately put her on IV fluids to hydrate her. They already did some x-rays down here. They showed here, where it looked like she might have had rocks in her stomach or something hard. And she's that way. I always blame this on her being caged her whole life because she's trying to keep things in her cage clean. She eats anything. If she's walking down the road and sees a little rock, she grabs it so quick and it's gone. She just swallows it. And it's almost impossible to keep her from doing that. And before you say, get a muzzle, you can't. She has no nose. She literally has a flat face. Most of what you see is fur and a nose. There's nowhere to put a muzzle on this dog. So it's an issue. We have to really keep an eye on her when we take her outside for a walk. We have to make sure that where we're walking her, there's just nothing there. So we try to keep her out of the road. There's pebbles in the road. In our grass, things get in the grass. If there's a rabbit walking around here and defecates in our yard, these little round turds get down into the grass. We don't see them. She finds them. So we have to watch her all the time. This happened once before. It happened again. So she's been at the animal hospital now for a couple of days. They run x-rays on her here. They found them hard pebbles. They sent her up there. They do a different kind. They don't do x-rays up there. They do almost like, I don't even know what you call it, a sonic thing on the animals looking. And they compared the hard pebbles, whatever they was in there, they called them rocks. I don't know what they was. And they said they're moving. They said those aren't the issue. So those, she'll pass them. The vet down here, with their x-ray machine, did not pick up a mass that was in her stomach. But the sonogram thing or whatever they had up there, they said that's what they were concentrating on, was that mass, not the pebbles. So they run blood work on her up there and it had something to do with protein. That's all I know. And so we thought right away, at her age, she's an older dog, and a small dog generally doesn't last, I don't think, as long as a larger dog. She's going on 14. But she's a very healthy 14, it seems like. We thought cancer or something, which we had that with Maggie, and we had to put her down. But apparently, today's a different day. Sue's gone. She's going up to Gainesville to pick Katie up. They said that everything's looking good. She's passing these rocks, or whatever they are, she's ate. The mass that they were talking about, I'm not sure if they even knew what it was yet. I haven't heard from Sue yet. But apparently it's either going away or it's gone. They said she's very perky this morning. She was standing up on her own. She was eating on her own, which she hasn't done for a couple of days now. But she's eating. They said she urinated today. I don't know if she's went out. I don't know if they do that there, but I'm sure they do. I don't know if she's done her poop yet. I'm sure she will. When Sue's not around, this is a different dog. She generally will not eat for anybody else unless Sue feeds her. So I don't know what kind of problems we're going to have here, but apparently she's okay. Sue went to get her. She's coming home with her now. And so Katie's bit off another one. She is who she is. There's no changing her. But that's what's happening with Katie. And I'll get out of here. I got some other video that probably doesn't make any sense on anything. I'll tag it in probably with this one, maybe. And I'm looking out the window because there's some construction going on here. People coming down for the winter getting a lot of upgrades put in their yards, you know, landscaping and things. And I see everybody going down the road. So anyway, I'll get out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And tune in at the last Wednesday this month for the Wednesday Night Live. We're planning on doing one. And until then, I guess I'll see you on the other side.